Aha! Gentle ladies and gentlemen, once again welcome to this YouTube channel. This is Samuel Warago Senior, and this is the place where we gather gems of wisdom, and then we use these gems of wisdom to facilitate our journey through this terrain that we call life. And remember, as I keep telling you, we do this conscious of the fact that people are hurt easily, and we do not like stepping on their toes, lest they take us to jail for having infringed on their rights and freedoms. So welcome, Lux. Welcome, karibu sana. Now, our gem today, we get it from this book. This is the Odyssey of Homer. And our main journey, our main idea is to go home. But then we have many other sub-themes there. And in today, we want to talk about a gem from book 4. And that gem, I have extracted it. Because as I told you, there is a reason why you need to extract a gem. And now own it. Own it in its most natural way, as I have done it here. That is the gem of wisdom. The gem of wisdom. The gem of wisdom. A hind might as well lay her newborn young in the lair of a lion and then go off to feed in the forest or in some grassy dell. The lion, when he comes back to his lair, will make short work with a pair of them, and so will Ulysses with these suitors. A hind might as well lay her newborn young son in the lair of a lion, and then go off to a nearby forest or a nearby dell, grassy dell, of course, to feast. And when the lair comes back to his lair, he is of course going to have to make short work with a pair of them, and so will Ulysses with these suitors. A lot of English. But then this should not scare you away. Stay here. Just stay. I'll explain. Now, before we even go further to explain these words of wisdom, allow me first of all to give you a very brief context. Remember, this young son called Telemachus is already on a journey to go and ask, to go and seek, to go and gather information about his own dad. Yes, his mentor advised him to go to two places, to go to Paros and to go to Sparta. Paros, where he's going to meet King Nestor, and in Sparta, where he's going to meet King Menelaus. In the previous video, we found this young son had already visited King Nestor. Now, in this gem, he has already visited King Menelaus. King Menelaus is more informed as far as getting the information of Odysseus or Ulysses is concerned. And so he goes there. And just in our own human way, whenever you present yourself to someone who is likely to help you to come out of your problems, many other times of human beings we tend to lament. We tend to pour out our frustrations, our problems. We pour out. You see, now, this is what is happening to this young man. He has already come here and he's saying, now look, back home there, I've left suitors who are still wasting my father's property, wasting my property. And the wise King Menelaus is here. He has already noticed something in this young son, this young man. And so he tells him, a hind might as well lay her newborn young son in the lair of a lion, and then go off to feed in the forest or in some grassy dell. The lion, when he comes back, underline this. Underline this. The lion, when he comes back to his lair, will make short work with the pair of them. The pair meaning the dell, the hind, and the newborn. With the pair, so we will always just with these suitors. Let me first of all briefly explain these words, especially some of the three words in this gem of wisdom. A hind. What is a hind? A hind is what we call a deer, or you can call it something like a gazelle, an antelope. You see, these animals are herbivores. They feed on grass. Okay. Then we call, of course, we have something else that we call a lair. A lair is a den or a place where dangerous animals spend their days, of course, and nights. It's a place, it's a dwelling place of very dangerous animals. And of course, a lion, you don't need to play around with it. Then, of course, we have a dell. What is a dell? D-E-L-L. A dell is the bottom part of two valleys where they converge. Here. You see? So, a dell with grasses, with a grass. So, this is a good place for a dell or an antelope to go and feed. Now, these words, this is, of course, a metaphor. This, of course, is a metaphor. And it is one way that the wise people used when they want to pass some coded message, some coded advice only to the wise mind that can be able to decode the information. He is saying that now an antelope, when she gives birth, if she is very foolish to go and hide this young antelope, this newborn, in the den of a lion, and then go out to feed grass, what do you expect? The owner of that den, who is very dangerous, of course, who is a lion, after he has roamed the jungle, will still come back. And when he comes back, he is going to eat the young one because he's a carnivore. He also, of course, is going to eat the mother when he comes to feed the young one. And so this is the exact thing that he is saying is happening or has happened to the suitors back home. The suitors there have invaded a place that does not belong to them, but then they are like the antelope. A lion who is the owner of that place is still coming on the way. Odysseus. Anyway, that's for another day. Let's talk about the one emerging issue from this theme. That it is good as a young person or anybody to ask yourself, how safe are you in that place you call your residence? How safe are you in that place you have chosen to spend your day? How safe are you in that place you have chosen to spend your night? How safe are you in that place you have chosen to spend your month, your year, your life or so? How safe is that place? Irrespective of whether you have found it yourself or a friend or somebody else has invited you to spend some time in that place, always ask yourself that question, because when the real owner emerges and his heart or her heart doesn't rhyme with yours, you are going to find yourself in a very big trouble. And this reminds me of a song by Karaoke Wakiarutana, Nyoba Utalihaga, a house that you do not pay. What are you supposed to do? And that's what he sings. And I love this song. Every young man should pay attention to the words of Karaoke Wakiarutana and also marry them with this. Ogiona kaela retiege gaike. Ogiona kaela riakela retiege gaiki. Dogage kahodie. Doga kolote na karako lote kamote. Nogaga kolume tururu tututu. Dere tende moge no ge wakwa wodeo geturu maiga. Henere irione mohikitwa nyuaga nake gakirare gwake inyubota rehaga. Mwanake tigana nayo. Good. Now, so what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to say? Now, from this, remember, these suitors are not invited in Odysseus' homestead. So our issue today is this. And it's something that comes up every time. Where you are living. Has your friend invited you? Ask yourself this question. Even if a friend has given you time to spend in that place, ask yourself, who is paying rent for this house? If you cannot be able to answer that question with a lot of honesty, a lot of clarity, be worried. Who is paying rent for this place? Point number 2. If this is not a rental house, someone has constructed this house, then ask yourself, who paid for the construction of this house? It is not necessarily the person living in there, because the owner, the person with highest say, is the person who paid for the construction of the house that you are dwelling in. Ask yourself, who paid for the construction of this house? Then lastly but not least, also ask yourself this. If a friend invites you to a place, to a function, to an event, to a place, always ask yourself about the venue. Now, who is taking care of the expenses of this place? Just in case you are not being asked to pay anything. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And you are left in the jungle. You are left at the center of trouble. When people escape, just if you went there brightly, spending your days in a place you don't know who pays or how things go about there, be worried. Spending your nights in places which you do not really know about who takes care of those places, especially in terms of rent, be very worried. And in case someone invites you for a function happening somewhere, in a hotel, in a garden, you of course know that someone must have been paid for this, and you are not being asked for any cent. There's something to ask yourself. Could be some alarm. Is really some alarm? Ask yourself all these questions. So, gentle ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is Samuel Walago Senior, and do have a nice time. Good.